This man had been practicing with a blade repeatedly in prison, and now he had mastered the skill of using it to harm others. Today was the day he would act. With a determined gaze, he walked toward his target's cell. Upon entering, his cellmate immediately searched him. Once assured that nothing was amiss, the cellmate allowed him to sit down. Since the blade was hidden in his mouth, the man tried to speak as little as possible. The cellmate noticed that Mark kept staring at the books on the shelf and encouraged him to sign up for the prison's educational program to gain knowledge.
Même si je sais pas lire, tu pourras apprendre.
However, at that moment, blood began to trickle from the corner of Mark's mouth. He had to act. After subduing his cellmate, Mark retrieved the blade from his mouth. He knew that if he failed to complete the task, he would be the one to die. Looking at his cellmate lying on the ground, Mark was terrified, but given the circumstances, he had to confront his fear. He stood up and placed the cleaned blade into his cellmate's hand. Having successfully completed the mission, the next day, Caesar's gang members brought Mark a bag of snacks. Although he had gained their protection, Mark couldn't shake off the shadow of having killed someone. Amidst his confusion, Mark didn't waste time. He genuinely took his cellmate's advice and enrolled in the prison's educational program. Being of Arab descent, he couldn't understand the Corsican language spoken by Caesar's gang, so he began learning Corsican from the basics. Time flew by, and a year later, Caesar's Corsican gang had become the dominant force in the prison. They often exerted pressure on the Arab gang. Because Mark was half Arab, he was merely a lackey, serving tea and water. Despite his hard work, he was not well liked. The Corsican language spoken by the gang was incomprehensible to Mark. At that moment, Caesar told him in a language he could understand to get out. Mark realized he would never truly be part of Caesar's gang, so he dedicated himself to studying even harder. In the educational program, he befriended a classmate who patiently taught him grammar. They got along well and became close friends. However, because Mark had joined the Corsican gang, the Arab inmates began to despise him. During conflicts, Reed always stood up for Mark. Meanwhile, a local amnesty policy had been issued for Corsicans, leading to the release of most Corsican inmates. However, since Caesar was the gang leader, his name wasn't on the amnesty list. As a result, his followers dwindled from over 20 to just 5. This turn of events presented an opportunity for Mark.